Guys, I think it's time to just face facts. I believe we're going to have to come to terms with the reality that the city of Chicago is basically done. I mean, Chicago is a beautiful city. It is actually my second favorite city in the United States of America, but I have to just call a spade a spade. I have to call it like I see it because that's what you guys basically pay me to do. And we're just going to have to maybe begin to entertain at least the idea that Chicago as a city may be irreparably damaged. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson just announced one of the dumbest ideas I have ever heard in response to ICE coming into Chicago to enforce the law, um, to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America, and most importantly, protect American citizens from her enemies, both foreign and domestic. Chicago Mayor Johnson, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is now attempting to trick African American people. He already got you guys once, right? Talked all this good, sweet talk to you. And the minute he was in office, he allowed an influx of illegal immigrants into the city. And not only allowed it, he distributed your taxpayer dollars among these people who had never paid a cent, not even a penny, into the American tax system. He distributed your American tax dollars to these people as if they had been living, working, and contributing to America, to the city of Chicago for decades. Now, he's coming with a harebrained idea. And though I, at one point, believed that the youth of Chicago may be able to correct or right the ship, they may be able to come with some original ideas. There's a rapper that goes by the name of Shark on Land. He is a part of a rap group known as 600 that is from Chicago. And when I tell you I watched this man's interview with Adam22 of No Jumper, and I heard some of the dumbest ideas, just some of the dumbest statements I've ever heard in my life. I am not exaggerating. I'm not trying to say this for shock value. I understand that over at No Jumper, they experienced something that they never experienced before. And that was a black male who actually reads, he does research, and he's pretty knowledgeable in several areas. No Jumper has never experienced that before. So now that I am no longer there, Adam22, Josh, and all the other hosts, they have to try to find someone to make them feel better or to heal them from the damage that I did to their cognitive dissonance and blatant ignorance. So they are on a mission to find an ignorant black sage who's going to be able to tickle their ears, as the Bible calls it, who's going to be able to tell them what they want to hear in a way that makes it actually believable to them. Yes, I have showed them the truth. And as the scripture says in John 8, the truth will set you free. But not every plantation slave wants to be free from the plantation. See now? See, back in the days of slavery, there was a difference between regular slaves or run-of-the-mill slaves and plantation slaves. See, a plantation slave was a slave that identified himself with the plantation. The plantation was not only a place where he was oppressed, beat within an inch of his life, forced to work from can't see at night from can't see in the morning to can't see at night. No. The plantation was a part of who he was. And that plantation slave, when the regular old slave said, you know what, we running away from here. No. That plantation slave, he ran out and told massa on him. If that regular old run-of-the-mill slave even said one word, even if he whispers something, that was an insult to massa. Oh, that plantation slave cuts out his tongue. Because when you are a plantation slave, you are hopelessly connected to that plantation. And that's what I think we might be dealing with in the case of No Jumper when it comes to their political beliefs. They ain't nothing but a bunch of plantation slaves. You'll give them the truth, but they'll never take the long walk to freedom. You'll give them the truth. You'll give them the keys to the lock, so to speak, but they'll never stick the key in the hole, pause, and turn it so that they could have liberation. So instead, they go and they raise up leaders for themselves. And because the truth is indisputable, they continue to fail. Let me play a video. Bear with me. Don't leave. We're going to play a clip. Let me play a clip of what I am calling one of the dumbest ideas I've ever heard. A clip of failed Chicago mayor. His approval rating is in the single digits as we speak. Failed Chicago mayor Brandon Johnson introducing a new idea that has the potential to destroy Black Chicago period, more than his horrible policies already have. Just when you think it can't get any worse, this guy says, we'll see about that. And he absolutely aims for the bottom. And he doesn't have a hard time finding the bottom, because every single thing this guy does seems like it gets dumber and dumber. Let me play this for y'all.
If my ancestors as slaves can lead the greatest general strike in the history of this country, taking it to the ultra-rich and big corporations, we can do the same today. I'm calling on Black people, white people, brown people, Asian people, immigrants, gay people from around this country to stand up against tyranny and to bring a clear message to the ultra-rich and big corporations. We are going to make them pay their fair share in taxes to live on because of this generation. Are you ready to take it to the courts and to the streets?
We are, right? We're the attacks that are happening. Roll back all that they were wanting past struggle, that you were talking about. And they're not going to win. They're not going to do it. This crowd out here is showing why they're not going to do it.
It's our money. It's supposed to go to us. And so when we go on a general strike, we're basically saying we want our money to go back to us. We want our power to go back to us, not to these fascists.
Boy. So we got to talk about the latest Trump deranged plot from these liberals who clearly feel like the No Kings riots were not a success, right? I mean, they just had a huge No Kings thing. And did it really do a damn thing? No. Did it accomplish anything? No. And the reason why you know this is because they're now plotting something different, right? This time they're plotting a mass blackout, okay, which really is a mass economic strike, okay, where they are withholding their labor, aka they're not showing up to work, okay, they're not working, or
Okay, so I let my boy Greg Foreman explain it a little bit just so you guys can understand what's going on here. Now listen, guys, if you want to come up and bash me as wanting to be white, let me give you the link. Come prove it. I can prove anyone who's saying I want to be white, I can actually prove that you are operating more like a white person than me. Not saying that that's even a bad thing, but I can prove that what you're saying is more in line with white people than me. Okay? Now, when we talk about the situation in Chicago, we are seeing a situation where the black residents of Chicago spent the better part of 4 years going absolutely crazy over the fact that illegal immigrants were being treated better by the city of Chicago, by the state of Illinois, with their taxpayer dollars than they were. Okay? I don't know what part of anti-black that is, but I am absolutely infuriated by the idea that an illegal immigrant will be pushed into an African-American neighborhood and then have more access to the taxpayer dollars of those African-Americans than the African-American residents of that area who have paid their hard-earned taxpayer dollars for a better life. Okay? Now listen. Let's go. Now, the same African-American residents who basically have turned on Brandon Johnson, right? They are now being outcast from the political power of the residents of Chicago. The ones who remain loyal to Brandon Johnson are now being asked to walk off of their jobs, right? They're now being asked to walk off of their jobs. Listen to me. This guy who has basically he has showed you that he has never, because I can't say no longer, because he's been doing this crap since he got into office. This guy who has showed you that your best interest is not his priority, he is now asking you to walk off of your job and to stay out of work until Donald Trump takes ICE out of Chicago? Make that make sense. He wants you to stay off work. You black. You done already got screwed over. You white. You done already got screwed over, right? What he now wants you to do is stay off your job, destroy your ability to feed your family so that he can continue to crap on you in the name of empowering illegal immigrants. I mean, wrap your mind around that. These people in Chicago have told this guy unequivocally, look, we don't want him here. You giving them resources that you said you didn't have. You're shutting down our schools and whatnot. Schools that we wanted you to open up to educate our children in. You said you couldn't do it. Now the schools are functioning as migrant shelters. We want them out. We could talk about Al Sharpton, y'all, after all this. You didn't do what you said you was going to do, Brandon. Now you're asking me to take myself out of work to force Donald Trump to pull ICE out of Chicago. Guys, do we look stupid? How on earth is a bunch of people striking gonna make the federal government remove their agents from the city of Chicago? So think of this. The ICE agents are sitting on the corner, right? They sitting on the corner. You work at McDonald's. You say, I ain't going to go work at McDonald's today. I'm not going to go work at McDonald's for the whole week until they get these ICE agents off the corner. Please tell me how you not going to work affects Donald Trump or ICE agents to the point where they're going to leave that corner. You not going to work is only going to affect the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago. Right? Understand that. You're only going to affect the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago, and ICE is still going to be in Chicago deporting illegal immigrants. This guy thinks you are dumb. Are you guys following me? Please put a 1 in the chat. Please put a 1 in the chat if you want me to give you truth. If you want me to speak truth to power and tell you guys the tricky trick that this guy is trying to pull on the black and white residents of Chicago. I need some more ones. Give me some more ones. If you want to know the trick that this guy is trying to pull, give me a 1 in the comments and hit that like button. Guys, listen. For the most part, ICE is only going after criminal, illegal aliens, right? If they're not doing crime, for the most part, they are being allowed to leave, to go about their business, right? When you quit your job, or not quit, when you boycott your job, when you strike from your job and you say, we're not coming back until you get ICE out of Chicago, what do you think your job is gonna do? They're gonna hire someone else. This is the nature of capitalism. Now, when you give up your job trying to defend a bunch of illegal immigrants who wouldn't give a squirt of piss to put you out if you were on fire, do you know who will then go apply to work at your job and never ever strike on your behalf for any reason at all? I'll give you one guess. I'll give you one guess. The same damn illegal immigrants that you are going to walk off your job for will go to that job and replace your ass. They will go to that job and replace your ass. And you will be standing outside with a picket sign and a cup for donations telling them, wait, we walked off our job for you. Why are you in there working the job? They're going to say, no comprende, amigo. Money talks and bull crap walks. That's what they're going to tell you. And you're going to be looking dumb again as Brandon Johnson sit back and ignores you the way he's been ignoring you for the past 2 years and say, so sorry, ain't nothing I could do. You were the dummy who let me do it and followed along with the idea that I had. That's what's going to happen to you. I don't see how people from Chicago don't see this crap coming from a mile away. You walk off your damn job in the name of protecting an immigrant that you don't even give a damn about. You deserve everything that happened to you. I'm going to keep it a buck. You deserve every single thing that happened to you. Just like them YNs, when they get gunned down and you go look at their music and see the stuff they were talking about and the stuff they were promoting, you deserve everything that happens to you. Fool me once, Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Shame on me. Who's us? Is one person. Shame on me. Why would you believe something so stupid? $100%. 100%. But you got to be dumb. I'm going to play another clip.
Good idea to get behind this guy.
What would a successful strike look like to you?
Well, first of all, if there was ever a time for working people to unite across our country, this is that time. You know, I'm reminded of the words of Dr. King when he said that if the labor rights movement and the civil rights movement were to ever collide, what enormous potential we would have. And we're in the midst of that right now. What it means is that working people across this country have to send a real strong message to the ultra rich and to these large corporations who have received, you know, one of the greatest tax cuts and benefits than any other time in the history of our country. And if we're not willing to put forth some real economic demands, if that means, of course, withholding our labor, if we're not prepared to do that, then I don't see how we can transform this country. Every single major social movement throughout our history had a full strategy, whether it was litigation, the courts, and also economic boycott, particularly at a time in which the concentration of wealth continues to grow while more and more people continue to barely have the ends meeting at the end of each week and at the end of each month.
But see, here's the trick that they play on everybody. They constantly talk about the concentration of wealth, right? They constantly talk about how the rich have this and the poor ain't got it. This is what they always say, right? Here's the problem for me. The Democrats are taking more billionaire money than any other political group in America. Let me say that again. The Democrat Party is taking more billionaire money, more George Soros money than any other political group on earth. On earth. But they keep trying to convince you that they are trying to take power out of the hands of the billionaires and put that power in the hands of the people. But if you get law-abiding American citizens, right? If you get law-abiding American citizens to walk off of their job on behalf of a bunch of criminal alien migrants, right? And then those companies are then able to give those jobs to illegal immigrants, the ones that will be left. Aren't you helping the billionaires make more money? Aren't you helping those very same billionaires make more money? He thinks you're stupid. He thinks that you don't know fat, meat, greasy. He is going to talk you into selling yourself out so that an immigrant, in the name of, we got to do wealth redistribution, we got to take the money out of the hands of the millionaires and billionaires. That's what he's going to say. But the whole time, his goal is going to be taking the money out of your hands for the millionaires and billionaires by getting you to walk off your job, replace you with an illegal immigrant who's willing to work for half of what you're willing to work for or less, right? Because I think minimum wage around the country about $7 or something like that. He's gonna replace you with an illegal immigrant who will accept less money. Then the millionaire and billionaires' bottom line, you know, the money they take home at the end of the day, that's going to increase exponentially. That's going to increase exponentially. Oh, Brandon, you want to be white. Does being white mean having common freaking sense? Because if being white is synonymous with having common sense, well, call me a white man all day then. Because the insults are no longer working. Those insults worked 40 years ago when people didn't have access to information. Like easy access. But y'all, we have the internet now. You just listen to this fool tell you to walk off your job in a city that is already struggling economically. Do you know how many businesses have left the city of Chicago? Do you know how hard it is to find a job in Chicago? Do you understand? Do you know how hard it is to find a job in Chicago? And he's telling you to walk off your job for a bunch of people who aren't even citizens of this country? Show me one United States major movement in the U.S. that was made on behalf of people who were illegally trying to stay in this country. There ain't one. Even the migrant farm workers movement led by Cesar Chavez. They were migrants. That means they came to work and took their ass back. But he's going to lie to you and try to make you think that Dr. Martin Luther King was a proponent or an advocate of illegal immigration. Come on now. Come string this dude up, dude. If that's the truth, if that's the truth, if I'm lying. These dudes just being here, man, come on, walk off your damn job. So an illegal immigrant can take it from you and see how that work out.
The mayor of Chicago has called for a general strike, and I do think that's what we're going to be doing next. We are going to be striking, not buying stuff. If they want to cancel Thanksgiving, we'll cancel Christmas, you know.
Do you guys know that the government, city, local, state, national, federal, they are not supposed to call for workers to strike. What Brandon Johnson is doing is highly unethical. It's highly unconstitutional. And I believe it might even be illegal. I believe it might even be illegal. Rotten Roll, you said it right there. Cancel Christmas. That's how much he don't give a shit about you or your kids. Why would you tell a bunch of people to walk off their damn job 2 months before a month before Thanksgiving? Shit, we in November, and then 2 months before Christmas. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Deborah R., I'm with you, baby. Why don't he walk off his damn job? I bet you he's not going to stop his paycheck. Oh, the Democrats never do that. The Democrats never do that. I bet you he won't stop his paycheck. Brandon Johnson, you may never see this, but from Brandon to Brandon, because my name is Brandon too, you first. You first. He going to say, Brandon, I walked off my damn job a long time ago. As a matter of fact, I never showed up for it. Brandon Johnson and the city council members of Chicago, the aldermen and all them, if you want the people of Chicago to walk off their jobs, why don't you all take your next year of pay and donate it to the illegal immigrants that you are really working for? There's my coach, Eric Lewis, when I played football in high school, great guy, he probably dead now. You know what he used to say to me? He used to say, because I was the captain of the defense, he used to say, son, the number one rule of leadership is to never ask a man to do something you're not willing to do. The number one rule of leadership is to never ask a man to do something you're not willing to do. Why do we always got to be the ones losing, giving something up, taking the hit? You took the hit for 4 years under Joe Biden. When is it their turn? When do you get a break? You take the hit and the illegal immigrants get $12,000 food stamp cards. Let that sink in. You're trying to figure out how you're going to make ends meet and feed your kids while fighting for a bunch of illegal immigrants who ain't even supposed to be here. They get perks and luxuries while you get to struggle, but it never switches. There's never a time where they get to take the hit and you get the benefit. Why don't they just walk their ass off? Why don't they just walk their ass back across the border for 2 months so you can enjoy Christmas? How about that? Why don't they just take a siesta and take their ass back down over there to Mexico and Honduras and come back after the first of the year and we get it cracking again? Because the name of this game is Americans lose and illegal immigrants win. That is the end game for the Democrat Party. American citizens lose. We open the border. We bring a bunch of people, millions of people from South America, right? Listen. We bring millions upon millions of people from South America. We indoctrinate them and make them Democrat Party loyalists. Hey, we the ones who got you here. And then we scare them into voting for us for the next 100 years by saying, well, if you vote for the Republicans, they're going to deport you. This game is, the rules and the strategy is very simple. The only thing that makes this game complicated is the liberal tendency to operate based on pure cognitive dissonance with no shame. With no shame. I'm not making this up. You can see it. Just like I can see it. You can see it. But I'm the only one who's pissed off about it. You're not mad enough yet. And you might not get mad enough before it's too late. And you be like, it'd be like in the UK where you say something negative about an immigrant and they come to your house and arrest you and take you to jail. That's already happening. You better speak up against it while you still got the chance. I know that.
And here's what I want out of a general strike. Universal health care is non-negotiable. Non-negotiable at this point. Universal basic income. Yes. Every place that has done it has seen a more productive, happier populace. And that will be because 3, we tax billionaires at a 95% rate. And if you think that's outlandish, go back in history. We used to tax them hard enough that they couldn't become billionaires. And we need to do that again. Period. I also feel like we need term limits for the Supreme Court. We need term limits for senators. We need term limits for House representatives. We need the cronyism out. We also need to have a robust Voting Rights Act passed. We need a robust new.
Let me show you how these people lie like they breathe. When she said, oh, all the countries that provide a universal basic income have seen improvement in the happiness and all this bullcrap. Guys, there ain't no country on earth. There is no country on earth that provides universal basic income. No country currently provides a full universal basic income to all its citizens. Though some have implemented UBI or UBI-like programs in the past, like Iran and Mongolia, many other countries have conducted or are currently running pilot programs to test the concept, including Kenya, the United States, and Finland. So this country is already the ones testing it. Is already one of the ones testing it. And you know it ain't here. Kenya, I'm telling you right now, ain't no damn UBI in Kenya. They can shove that where the sun don't shine. There ain't no UBI in Kenya. I go to Kenya all the time. There's no UBI there. Straight up. And Finland. Finland, people always bring up Finland. Finland is a tiny country. And they do not have UBI. Trust me, if they did, it'd be a bunch of immigrants running there. Let me tell you something, guys. Let me tell y'all something. Let's play a game. Let's play a game called Common Sense. Let's play a game called Common Sense. If these other countries are doing universal basic income and they're so amazing, why are all the immigrants trying to run to the United States? Do y'all want me to answer that again? If these countries supposedly doing UBI are so amazing, so great, they're thriving, yada, yada, free healthcare, all this crap, why are the immigrants all running to the United States? The immigrants in the UK would give their left arm to come to the United States. Trust me. Trust me. There are people who are successful in their countries who would give their left arm to come to the United States. Why do you think Trump is able to offer the $250,000 visa or whatever he's offering? It doesn't make any sense. This stuff is all crap. They lie like they breathe because they count on you not doing any research at all. So that, and just hitting that button in that voting booth so they can pretend like they're getting in to do one thing, and as soon as they get in, they do something else. That's exactly the trick that Brandon Johnson played on Chicago. That is exactly the trick that Brandon Johnson played on Chicago. And now look at Chicago. It's a mess. It's a mess. People still getting shot up every weekend. Now you got to contend with this fight. You got to fight for resources with a bunch of illegal immigrants who aren't even supposed to be in the damn country.
New Green Deal. And, you know, AOC and Bernie Sanders have that stuff already written out. So the framework is there. We just need to strike hard enough. We get all of it, because this is no longer a nation for the people by the people. It is a nation for the billionaires by the billionaires. And they are the biggest minority we have, and it's unacceptable that they are running everything. I don't like living in an oligarchy. And I'm poor enough that boycotting the crap out of things is going to be really, really easy. I don't have the money to spend anyway. But there will be a couple things that will be hard to do. However, I boycott Walmart for over 25 years. I think we're up to the task, folks. I think we are. And thrift stores are great. If you prefer shopping online, ThredUp, ThredUp.
The mayor of Chicago has just called for a massive nationwide general strike against Trump in this country. And this is really important, and you should care about this. Because if this happens, I hope, this would change so many things in this country for the better. Think about the No Kings protest that happened a few days ago, right? You know, it's nice. You know, about 7 million people showed up, I believe. That's great. But, you know, it's more of like a parade, right? It doesn't actually accomplish the changes that we need in this country. A general strike would literally threaten the collapse of the economy in this country, which means that all these politicians would have to listen to us. They would be scared shitless if people in this country did a massive general strike. Because historically, those are extremely effective in getting the changes that you want. I mean, if this happened, fuck it, we could probably try to get like universal healthcare out of it. Because the politicians would have to listen to the people. They would actually have to listen to the people that run this economy. The workers, not the...
This guy's an idiot because that's what Trump is doing. Trump is listening to the people who said they want the illegal immigrants out, which is the majority of the American population. See, Gumby right here, he'll scream, we have to save democracy, but only when democracy doesn't agree with what he wants, right? When democracy has a result that he doesn't like, now it's like, we need to boycott, we need to do this, we need to do that. They weren't saying this under Biden, though. This is what people are missing. These people don't give a damn about democracy. This is called win at all cost. It's like saying, all right, y'all, we going to flip a coin. And if it's heads, you win. If it's tails, I win. You flip the coin, it land on heads, they win. You pull out a knife, stab them in the heart. Like Carmelo Anthony did that white boy. That's what they're doing. They're trying to play by prison rules while screaming at you that you need to play fair. Well, we did play fair. 75 plus million Americans said this is what they want. But instead of gracefully bowing out or conceding defeat, they want to continue to agitate everybody. They want to continue to try to inconvenience everybody until they get their way, and it's not going to work. All they're doing is driving people to the right.
CEOs, not the politicians, not the billionaires, but the workers. So I'm really hoping that this happens because we're in some pretty crazy times right now and we need this.
Groups are calling for a strike in November. Now is the time to set our demands because a strike without demands is ineffective. It's just another performative activity. The 8-hour workday, the 40-hour work week, better working conditions were all established from a strike because they had clear demands and they did not go back to work until the demands were met. This is how November should play out. The demands have to be met before workers resume.
I think the only thing that moves the needle here, I'm increasingly convinced, is some sort of national economic strike. There's the meaningful and there's the profound. The meaningful would be or the trivial, I should say, cancel your Disney Plus subscription. Okay, and then we're going to see a bunch of screenshots of people who've canceled their Disney Plus subscription. What I'm beginning to think about personally, because I don't want to wait till 26, I have business relationships and capital with and in Silicon Valley Bank, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Northern Trust, Goldman Sachs. I'm contemplating transferring all of my assets to Lloyd's or HSBC. I'm trying to figure out if there's someone we could call on who's a real leader who could rally the top 3 1/3% responsible for 25% of the spending to, in say, December, not buy Christmas presents, maybe stay at home, not go to St. Bart's, maybe try and reduce their spending by 10.
So listen, this guy's wealthy. He's wealthy. You know, I'm contemplating taking my money out of all of my wealth building vehicles and putting it in another wealth building vehicle. See what I'm telling you? You have to suffer while he contemplates suffering. You have to suffer while he thinks about suffering. Do you notice that it's a bunch of white folks talking about, let's boycott. Let's boycott. Well, go boycott then. He wants you to do it so he doesn't have to. They want you to do it so they don't have to. And they never will. Let me tell you something. Boycott not coming. Boycott is not coming. It's just bull crap. It's just pie in the sky. It's just, let's see if we can make these people do something based on just a suggestion. That's what's going on here. I was thinking about taking my money out of, come on, bro.
20%, which quite frankly really doesn't impact the top 3% income earning households. That is literally pure consumption. And trying to take the economy, if you took the economy's growth down for 1 month by 1%,
in protest, that's what you're saying.
Say, look, I'm not going to fund a move towards an autocracy.
Hey, 254 Magic, man. You sounding ridiculous right now. You sounding ridiculous. 254, are you in, where are you in the world? Kenya? You sounding crazy. Trump, like, people talk about Trump. Oh, Trump, man, Trump ain't got nothing to do with this stupidity. Trump is telling you to go work for what you want and trying to create an environment to where you don't have to fight against people who aren't even from your country to get a job. But here we go, Mrs. UBI. You know, y'all listen to me. Listen to me. I want TSM. TSM, did you get your mic fixed? TSM, did you get your microphone fixed? Hello? I want the fix. Hey, how's your microphone? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, how's your microphone?
Hello?
Yeah, TSM.
I can.
Bro been sitting down there for 30 minutes and it ain't work. Anyway, guys, listen. We about to get into the Adam22 Land Shark interview because that proves some more stupidity as well. Listen to me. Listen to me. Let me just paint you a very simple picture. 254, I think, is a Kenyan. If you deal with a lot of Africans, they're all for free, but they hate paying taxes. So 254, he will talk all this stuff, heart, laugh out loud, grow your audience like that, whatever. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but he'll never agree to pay the taxes that would need to be paid to provide all this stuff, right? Understand that. If you go to Africa, people will walk by a woman with 5 kids and begging, won't give her shit. But the African people, they want you to believe that they're gonna pay all these taxes and stuff to give people free stuff. It's just a grift, okay? It's just a grift. As a person who loves Africa, love going there, and I want to retire there and be there, it's a grift. Don't listen to any African person about taxes because Africans are totally opposed to paying any significant taxes. I'll stop it there. Okay, so listen to me. I'm going to make a very simple point, right? I'm going to make a very simple point. Okay. These people want, one, open borders. Joe Biden allegedly let 20 million illegal immigrants into this country. That's one. These people want 2, free health care, right? They want 3, universal basic income where everybody gets a check for like $1,000 or $2,000 every single month, no matter what, even if they don't have a job. Okay, that's 3. Then they want, green energy. So they want all electric. They want everything that doesn't pollute the environment, all this stuff, right? Cool. Listen to me. If you open your border, that means you let anybody in, right? So immediately the United States economy is the United States population is going to skyrocket, okay? Understand that. Because so many millions and millions of people want to be here. You're going to get immigrants from everywhere in the world trying to come here. The rest of the world will basically become like a wasteland because everyone's going to try to come to the richest country on earth, right? Now, maybe the rich people will then go and live in those places because they're rich. But if you're poor and don't have the money to go live in St. Bart's or something, you're going to be stuck here too, as the United States population goes from about 350 million to like a billion overnight, right? All right. So that's the first thing. Next, they want to give everybody free healthcare and UBI. So of the billion people who are going to enter this country, all these people have to have free healthcare. So the doctors, they're going to have to basically work for pennies because it's no way you're going to have enough doctors to take care of a billion people with free healthcare running to the doctor's office every time they cough or sneeze or fart, right? Then they want to give all these people UBI, which got to be about 1,000 or 2,000. The majority of the population, the majority of the people in the world live on like less than like $200 a month, right? So when they come here and they now have $2,000 a month or $1,000 a month, do you think that's going to inspire them to go out and work hard to be great? No, they're going to create an underground economy or a black market where they can live all month long for whatever amount they're getting through the universal basic income. Understand that first and foremost. They are going to create an underground economy where they can live for an entire month for what they get every month. Do you know how I know that? Look at people on welfare. People on welfare, after Bill Clinton cut welfare programs almost in half, did all those welfare queens and shit say, hey, let me go get a job now? No. They simply found ways to live within that money they were getting and then hustled on the side. My question to you is this. If we bring 1 billion people into this country, right, how are you going to provide all those people jobs? Then if you give them free money, how are you going to incentivize them to go to work? And if they're not working and they're getting money, they're going to be eating, probably overeating. So then we're going to have a healthcare crisis on a system of free healthcare. How are you going to sustain that? And that is the question I'm going to ask TSM. TSM,
Hey,
you are an immigrant, correct?
what's up? Yeah, I'm a legal immigrant, man.
Okay, right.
I come here legally.
So this lady, these crazy people are saying they're going to boycott the United States. They're going to boycott all the businesses. They want this. Open borders. They want universal health care. They want UBI, universal basic income. Everybody get a paycheck every month for nothing. And they want green energy. They want zero carbon footprint for the United States. TSM, is that possible? Is that possible? As a man coming from Europe by way of Africa, is that possible?
No, it's not possible. And like, okay, let me be clear. And most of the funny part of it is impossible first. And two, a lot of immigrants don't want that either. Most of immigrants, when I come out here in America, they come with the skills sometimes, you know. Sometimes they come with the skills, whatever the skill is. It can be like construction, businesses, whatever. So basically, themselves, they have on their mindset, my first thing is like try to get a job, or second, try to open my own business. Because America have been selling outside like everything is possible, okay? It's the land of business. Even Trump himself used to say that. He's a full capitalist, and like business is business, and you can become multi-billionaires doing business. So most Africans are more like immigrant, even Mexican, Latino, South American, they have this mindset. I want to come to America, I will make my bread up, I maybe try to get some money. They don't come out here and the first thing to say, hey, I want to come to America and get the benefit. No, they don't come for the benefit. When they come to build up a better life for themselves by working or open their own business, you know? And of course, when you see a lot of immigration, like from like over 40 years ago, from between Mexico and US and South America and US, of course, at the end, you're going to see some people will try to open a business, it's going to fail, then we end up on the welfare sometimes, you know? But most of the immigrants, what they want is like, open their own business or have a job. All right?
Right.
Now,
okay. So if you bring the open borders, right? You let everybody in the world come into the United States as they please. What do you, just take a wild guess. today, let's say Donald Trump declares that the U.S. has open borders today. How long do you think it takes before the population of the U.S. gets to 1 billion people?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, right? 2 weeks. Everyone is going to be coming here. Am I wrong?
Yes. Okay. Yes, you know what? And I'm agreeing on Trump. Look, everybody, and you know what? The funny part is that is like a lot of immigrants like live in the U.S. out here, or like most of people with common sense, like we all agree on that. Like when Trump said you have to shut down the border or you have to control the border. Like I don't know any country in the world like with the open border like that. It's not, because you need to protect the people. You need to protect the institution. You need to protect your land. And that makes sense when Donald Trump said, hey, bro, I will close the border. I will secure the border because we got the flux of people just coming in like that and we don't know who they are, And even last time I remember, like when Trump used to say, hey, the open border, a lot of spy from China coming this way. A lot of spy from Russia coming this way. I remember when they used to say that. And it's true. Every country on the world needs to have a law and order. We all totally agree on that. But the only tricky part of it is like when Trump tried to say, hey, I will try to chase and deport only criminals. And we end up seeing he grabbing people in the front of a Home Depot, stuff like that.
Well, they're all
but
criminals.
That's the parenthesis.
They're all criminals. Now you sounding like an immigrant. Now you sounding like an immigrant.
No.
When Trump said
listen,
don't talk to me about technically. Because technically, first of all, you're using the word out of context. Technically, they are all criminals. When Trump said that, if you were dumb enough to think that meant that nobody who was just illegally here was going to get grabbed, that's your naivete. Trump said, I'm taking criminals. Illegal immigration is a crime. He ain't lied yet.
No, he said violent criminal first. That's what he said. I remember. He said violent criminal, right?
And he got them. Now he's going to the rest.
Ah, okay. Yeah. I mean, like, at the end of the day, look, we all agree on that. It's like, hey, every country have a law and order. Like, of course, America is so great because what I like about America is like America can be tough, but also they have some common sense. It's true. If it's an illegal immigrant and you've been here for 20, 30 years, okay, even 5 years or 2 weeks, if you want to stay in this country, you have to adjust your status. Try to adjust your status. If you can adjust your status,
they don't try. Listen, bro. Let me tell you something, TSM.
A lot of immigrants just fucked up.
Let me tell you something, TSM. Go to court in LA. You probably never get in trouble. But say you go get in trouble in Los Angeles. We're both in Los Angeles County. When I was younger and I was getting in trouble with the law, and say I would get a parking ticket, right? It'll be a bunch of Mexicans in the court, right? And the judge would order you to pay a fine, right? Like, okay, you were caught driving with a suspended license or no license. Your fine's gonna be $300 with a penalty assessment. With a penalty assessment plus this. Okay, your total is gonna be $1,400, something ridiculous, right? Then some people have multiple fines, so their fines will rack up to like $3,000, $4,000. TSM, I am not lying to you. The Hispanic immigrants will go in their pocket and pull out $4,000 and $5,000. I'm trying to get a payment plan. Like, hey, I gotta get a payment plan to pay this. These fools is coming out with a knot, dog. Paying all that shit off cash.
Yeah. No, I know.
So wait. The point I'm making is this. You're telling me you didn't have money to hire an immigration lawyer and get yourself at least a green card?
Oh no, we're on the same page on that. A lot of immigrants, no matter the country they are, they've been lazy about it. We're on the same page. A lot of people being lazy about it, and a lot of people can even adjust the status because they came here illegally. So basically, they cross the border. But if you come here legally by visa, or you come here legally by, yeah, or visa, or you overstay, that's different because you can adjust your study for different way. But those, they can because they already commit a crime where they cross the border. So no matter how much cash they are, they can't. The only way they can.
But some people, they're undocumented. So they might have crossed the border, but there's no record of them doing so. So they can go back and then come in legally.
No, it's true though. Yeah. It's very complex. And like I was saying that last time to some friend from Mexico. I said, yo guys, Mexican also doesn't understand something. Your country is beautiful and great. Guys, they have to fight to build it up over there. But they don't see that way. What they see is like, I don't know if it's something spiritual.
No,
But
no,
they
it
believe
ain't
they belong here.
spiritual. It ain't
I don't know.
spiritual. They see
Huh.
that the United States has got a bunch of suckers who feel sorry for them. That's it. Listen, you can have a beautiful life in Mexico, okay? You
Yeah.
can come work in the United States for 10 years and retire in Mexico. 20 years, retire in Mexico. There are multi-millionaire illegal immigrants in America. Go down to LA to the jewelry district. Some of the richest jewelry sellers over there are illegals. I remember there was a whole expose on a man and his wife. They came to America illegally from Mexico, and now they're multimillionaires living up in like the Hollywood Hills or some shit. Do you mean to tell me that you couldn't have took that money and said, you know what, I'm gonna just retire in Mexico, keep my
Yeah,
money in
there's
American bank accounts, invest in the stock market? These guys are making bank. Listen, you open a Mexican restaurant, maybe you're an illegal immigrant, you can still do business in America from Mexico. These guys have a lot of, it's just a bunch of excuses, Tia, and you know it.
No, it's true. I'm agreeing on that, but it's like it's a big mess. You know, it's a big mess because like America is a country with too many, too many division and too many different liberal mindset, conservative mindset. It's a bunch of crap. But you're right. Like at the end of the day, hey, a lot of people, illegal immigrant, like should learn also how to go back on their country, build themselves over there, and come back later. Maybe the political situation is better. I'm agreeing on that for that.
Listen, America doesn't really have a bunch of different mindsets. America has a bunch of people who are so entitled and privileged that they don't have to really live with the consequences of their actions. That's it. Because if you put those people in a position to where they actually had to interact with or compete with immigrants on a daily basis, they'll be like, nah, man, get his ass out of here. They would say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's true. And I just saw like a couple of days ago, I think like I saw some ice raid on New York on Canal Street. They just picked up a lot of bench like a street vendor from Senegal, West Africa, stuff like that. You know. And I was watching the video and I was saying like, hey, bro, at the end of the day, you know, those street vendors in New York, they've been doing that for years and they never take accountability of it. Even like, of course, I know it's tough. It's pretty hard to find a job, especially when you're black and a black immigrant, whatever. But at the end of the day, it was not okay to just like, set up the street of New York like that and just selling like a fake bags and stuff like that. And they've been warning them like for so long. The NIPD, the mayor of New York, you've been warning them, say, hey guys, stop doing that shit. And now Trump is in the office, like you should send like some ICE agent like pick up everybody, bro. They pick them up and like, yeah, man, because you can't have bad behavior in your country and you come out here and do the same thing. It doesn't work like that. I'm agreeing on that. Yeah.
Hey, thank you, brother. We got to move on to the next topic. Thank you for coming up.
All right.
Appreciate it. Okay, so now we're staying in Chicago, and this is one of the things that makes me feel like Chicago might be done. Chicago is maybe cooked. Adam22, the host of No Jumper, he sat down with a guy by the name of Shark on Land, who is a member of the rap group 600. Now, I've never listened to any of their music. Probably will never listen to any of their music. I might give them a spin just because I'm talking about them. But when I tell you that this guy said some of the dumbest crap I've ever heard in my life, I am not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating. And his ignorance brought out Adam22's ignorance. Cause I actually hit Adam up. Like, bro, you can't be a person who has been around me.
People are in
and
this
still be
position right
saying ignorant stuff, right? Saying just straight ignorance. And Adam brought Remo along. And I thought, maybe Remo will save us. Maybe Remo will be the voice for common sense in the situation. But Remo just kind of sat there and did his Remo thing. He really didn't speak up on no issues. It was more like Adam, like, oh, but this and this and that. Man, listen, Donnie Draco, chill, bro. But so it was more like it's just like three people who really, they shouldn't even be talking about this subject, that topic. Which is crazy because people can talk about anything. But if you're not gonna go do an ounce of research, just bow out of the conversation gracefully. This guy is trying to get somebody to click on a video with him in it. He's just bringing up a bunch of people.
Oh, they on CC3rd?
He's bringing up a bunch of people. It sounds ignorant, but I'm going to play some of this video so y'all could understand what I'm talking about.
What if they put a tank on CC3rd?
So this first part,
on CC3rd?
This is the first part that killed me. This is where they were talking about the National Guard coming into Chicago, right? And Adam's like, yo, what is the National Guard going to do with tanks in Chicago? I want you to hear what this dude said.
Oh, they on CC3rd? What if they put a tank on CC3rd? O block, goddamn it, over here on this block, goddamn it, over here on any main blocks, and then 11 police cars with tanks, and they just shut shit down, man. That should have make that bitch.
What is a tank really needed for in an urban environment? Like, even just having a police car in the middle of a project is enough to make most people kind of chill out.
True.
A tank is,
but
like, what are you going to do?
If getting that, oh, man, what? They on there with us, man. We all got to go out fighting then. Nigga, man, let's shake this bitch, man. Trump, like, on that gangster shit, there's too many gangsters. This the home of the gangsters, man. This the home of all these gangsters with gangsters all around the.
These dudes are pussies, okay? Stop with this. These are gangsters. These are not gangsters. Stop using that word. This guy sounds ignorant as hell. There's nothing gangster about anything these guys are doing. Rapping a song about killing somebody. Go kill somebody. Then they rapping a song about killing you. Then they come kill you. Gangsters used to do what they did for large sums of money. That's where the term gangster came from. Al Capone, Babyface Nelson, right? Those are gangsters. Those are real gangsters. Let me look at this. This is a gangster. Al Capone's net worth is not precisely known, but his syndicate was reportedly grossing about $105 million a year by 1928, which would have been equivalent to billions of dollars today. His personal wealth was not the same as the syndicate's gross income, but it was immense for the time. That is a gangster. That is a gangster. Oh, let's look up what would be considered a low-level gangster. Let's go to Babyface Nelson, because I was just watching some stuff about him. Babyface Nelson was just a bank robber. That's it. He wasn't no mob boss. Babyface Nelson stole approximately $4,000 in his first bank robbery, $25,000 worth of jewelry in a single month, and another $4,600 from the Itasca State Bank in October 30th. His total stolen amount is not precisely calculated, but these are some of the largest sums mentioned from his career. including an additional $18,000 in jewelry from Mayor Thompson's wife. $4,000, $25,000, $4,000, $18,000. If you go down, this is just a couple of banks that he robbed. But there was times when, bro, look at right here. Here it go right here. Here it go right here. Cool. Because this guy was getting money. $205,000. Magazine executive Charles M. Richter in 1930. This was $3.9 million in today's money. Think about that. $50,000 in jewelry in 1930. This all in the same year. Bro went up for like $5 million in a year. $4,000 robbed from his first bank. We are there. $49,000 netted from the robbery of Security National Banks in Sioux Falls. $52,000 robbed from the First National Bank in Mason City with the Dillinger gang. And it was a lot of other robberies where you don't know how much he took, right? But what I'm trying to tell you, these are gangsters. How is some bum trying to be a rapper even using the word gangster how is he even associated with that? Stop. A gangster just gonna go get up and get it. Stop it. These are literally, it's just such a misuse of the word, in my opinion. Let's keep going.
World. That's what like try to downplay this shit. I see come up here like this shit just kibbles and bogus. They just regular because niggas don't know the essence, and I think that's the case. Niggas ain't really been in this shit. Shark on Land, no, I'm him. All these rappers, all these trying to do, they had a persona doing that. All them is trying to be like us. That's why they love Vine. Vine, what they call, had that essence in him. He brought that shit to life with the storytelling. But they synced it in him. They synced the image. Everything matched up. You get the Dirks. You get all that. Got all these from L.A., New York. They from the city. They man, we know them some real. I'm up here, Shark on Land up here, nigga. I ain't dropped a song. That's from goddamn because I'm one of them dogs.
That's hard.
Big Shark said I was a rat. Said I was a bitch ass nigga. Said this ain't touched hell on my head. You know what shop I go to every week? Know what the time it is, man. That's what the time it is, boy. We that this Chirac, this Chicago, this the king of all this shit. Larry Hoover just got pardoned by Trump. This shit go big, you know what I'm saying? Marvell just came home. A lot of big BDs from Smashville 6217 coming home. Don't know the essence of this shit.
When a nigga start talking about the essence of something, that mean he got nothing else to say about it. That mean he can't really tell you why you should care about it. You don't know the essence. The essence of Chicago is the essence of every major city in America. Negroes ain't got crap. Everybody else got way more than we got, and it's our own fault. But we're trying to blame it on racism. But you know what's so crazy? The black people who work for what they want, they have a lot. They have the same amount as everybody else, or if not more. The black guys who get up every day and go focus on like working, building wealth, all this stuff, they got what everybody else got. But you got the fake so-called gangsters constantly talk about how tough they are and how they started all this shit and it's the essence, but then complaining about how somebody won't give them something. Stop it, bro.
Don't know who the they is. I do.
Herb said he felt like they should have. He was cool with them, with Donald Trump actually going out there.
Yeah, that's Herb, not me. I
but
know
you don't
what
think
the
that would
fuck.
have brung some safeties. All right, so what do you think could be done to save Chicago and help stop some of the violence if you don't want Trump to do that extreme?
Talking to the right. Talking to the right.
So what you suggest like be done?
We need guys with financial backing. That's
Hey, this guy, they asked him. So he don't like Trump, right? And I know at this moment, Adam probably was freaking twiddling his tip because he thought, yeah, I got a black guy who's going to say something that goes against what Brandon thinks, and he's going to be profound, right? He talked himself up and shit. Then they asked him the real question. What is your idea? Because you're criticizing Trump's idea. You're talking about everybody else is dumb. They don't know who they are. All this horse shit. Okay, genius, since you know you're him, what is your idea?
We need guys with financial backing that's already ultra successful, like a Kanye West. And I'm going to call him out right here. Kanye, you get away from your people and you said the black people abandoned you just like all the other people you had on your list of people that let you down. Black people never abandoned you. You know your people from Chicago still love you, but you scared to come put the millions in the city. You was ready to try to go in Ghana and give them 20, 30 million and all this dumb shit. Your people in the city need you. You get on and you get to a billionaire status and y'all bitch up. But maybe y'all sold y'all soul and you can't bring that money to the city. I get it. But again, that's what we need. We need people with ultra wealth come in, bring in 20 million, get people, go to United Center, make the call out, all black people come down, let's get on one accord. We gonna have this going on, we're gonna have these jobs, we're gonna have this training, and we're gonna get on this one accord. We got all the power that we need in the sense of buying power. Only thing we have to do is tell, all right, we not buying Nike no more unless they donate $5 million. And we're gonna go to every big company after that. You talking to the right Remo. I know what the we need. That's all we need to do. Apple, y'all got to give us $5 million. We not with iPhones no more. Black people, shut it down. We not buying no more iPhones. Black people, if they don't give us $5 million, Nike for Chicago, we can go city to city, big cities. They can follow suit. Y'all don't give us $5 million by January 1st. We shutting it down. We not purchasing from y'all. Everybody, we done. Walmart, we need $5 million. Y'all don't. We not purchasing from y'all. We finna get into a new business. We finna support whoever got the business, and we finna do that and go from every big company after that. As we start to donate them $5 million, that's gonna push the culture forward. That's gonna push everything we trying to do.
Hey, this dude is a crack baby. This dude is a crack baby. I think he's a crack baby. Dude, so, black people be worshiping money. Okay, what's your solution? Ask for some money. Black people be worshiping money, but my solution is to ask for some money. Guys, Apple, what would black people boycotting iPhones accomplish? I'm telling you, these idiots are just like the politicians they vote for. Give us money and all the problems would be fixed. Then you give them money, but the problems never get fixed. Well, hey, the problem didn't get fixed. What we going to do now? Well, give us some more money. What is boycotting Apple going to do to fix the violence of Chicago? So if you give them money, they're going to stop killing each other. You're going to call them down to the United Center to do this training and that training, right? Right? What are you going to do about the Pookies and the YNs down there slaughtering each other in the parking lot? Because they know their ops are going to be at the United Center. Oh, Nike, we ain't messing. Do you think Nike give a damn if you don't buy no Nikes? Because all black people aren't going to do that anyway. And let me tell you something, goof troop. Black people have buying power, but it's not nowhere near the highest in America. Hispanics have more buying power than black people in America. Asians have the same level of buying power in America as black people, and there's significantly less Asians in America than black people. Hispanics blowing us out the water in buying power. Whites blowing us out the water in buying power. This guy's just saying a bunch of gobbledygook based on shit he doesn't even know. Things that he heard. Yeah, we need to boycott this and we need to threaten them. They don't care, bro. And then the amounts he's asking for, yeah, give us $5 million. $5 million for what? Kanye West could give you $5 million. Kanye West is just not dumb, and he knows that you ain't going to do nothing with it. But fight over it. This was goofy. And then Adam, what would a tank do in Chicago? Well, dude, listen. if the YNs were if the YNs were brave enough to fight the National Guard, right? They're which they're not, right? So tanks are a major part of urban combat because tanks are like having a shield or a cover from gunfire. That's what tanks literally are for. When the infantry is marching, they are able to hide behind the tank as they march. And then if they come under enemy fire, it gives them somewhere to retreat to where they can be safe. See, in World War II, when the United States was invading Europe, Europe has a lot of farmland and a lot of open fields. So when you would march, trying to march from one position to another one, you would be in the open a lot. So a lot of times the infantry would be accompanied by tanks so that they can have cover when they're in the open field. That makes sense even in urban warfare where people could be shooting at you from all types of positions and you don't see them. But that's just ignorance right there. Like, and that's why I tell you, some people just are not qualified to have these conversations. And they're not qualified because they're just dumb. They're not qualified because they don't care to do basic research. That's it. You don't have to go to college to do basic research. If you look at this picture that I'm showing you right here, what you'll see is a soldier. He's hiding behind a tank. He's aiming and shooting from behind a tank, right? That's crucial in all combat scenarios where you might come under fire from the enemy and you don't really know the landscape that well. That benefits you. They've been doing the same thing in war for 100 years. If you go back to World War II, where is it? Yeah. If you go back to like World War II, this is the Korean War, right? They're going to Korea. This is the Korean War. These dudes don't freaking know what the hell's going on in Korea, right? Let's look at this. Do you see these soldiers? Do you see them hide behind these tanks? See how that works? Why would a tank be useful in an urban combat? Right there. Pookie and Ray Ray came with the switch. We jumped behind the tank. The tank. Oh, we saw there was another Pookie shooting from the window. Right? Yeah. The Sherman tanks in World War II. Right. The Shermans were horrible tanks, but they basically won the war because of our ability to mass produce them. But this is what I'm saying, bruh. Like, bro, you talking to someone who knows even less than you do, and you don't know anything. But it was just embarrassing. It was just straight up embarrassing, man. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Here goes a Sherman right here. This World War II. This is a Sherman tank right here. But the tanks that were the premier tanks were those Panthers. Those Panzers. The Panzer tanks. Those were, I think they were called Panzer. These right here. These bitches right here. Wait, where's the Germans? Hold on. I don't think we see a Panzer. The Russians got the T1 or whatever. Oh, here we go. This was a killer right here. Actually, yeah, this is a Panzer. The Sherman is different. I think what I pointed at was a Panzer. But this is a Panzer. This is a German tank. This is the one that everybody was scared of. Nah, Russians ain't. They don't have the new. They not. The T-71, I believe, is the Russian tank. That T-71 was a beast. The Sherman was a small tank. It wasn't as good as the Panzer, but they just were able to mass produce a bunch of them. And so, like, here goes oh yeah, that was a Sherman. Okay, cool. Yeah, the Sherman was like a small tank, especially back in World War II. But these guys sounded crazy. Yeah, it was a very simple looking tank. Those Panzers look crazy. This is not a German tank. This is an American tank. This is a Sherman. The one before it was a Panzer. This is a Sherman. The T-71, that was a beast. I think the T-71 is that. I think it was first called the T-31. I think that was the first one. Yeah, T-31. Yeah. This was a beast right here, guys. Stop. They say this was like one of the best tanks ever made. Right here. These whooped up a bunch of Panzer tanks at the Battle of Stalingrad. They saved Stalingrad. The T-31s. Because that was a crazy fight. Yeah. Of course, light armor tanks for people who are shooting with bullets. Basic crap. Basic, but I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but that's what I'm saying though. You just gotta be better. You gotta be smarter.
Coordination is possible, because I'm gonna be real, like it's. I mean, I do think about the protests in 2020. That's like a good example where it felt like a huge amount of people came together. But in general, it feels like it's pretty tough to get people to engage in, especially something like switching your phone from an iPhone.
And that's the thing. You right. You talking the big game. And guess what? I got the answers. With that being said, when you coming with that money and you saying, I'm bringing in 50 million for the city, our people respond to that. That's what they need. They want to respond to fame or money. This is what they made it. And this is why people are in this position right now. That's why people are hurting, because they.
Nipsey Hussle proved that this is bullshit, what he's saying. Nipsey Hussle's death proved that this is BS. This is absolute BS. Literally, dudes have brought millions into the city. And people hate on them and want to kill them and bully them. So they leave. They go take their money and they go to the white folks area. They go to the white folks area. And they participate in their kids' school and fund the play and do all this stuff because they're like, we're going to give it to people who actually appreciate it. Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre is rich as hell. Who did Dr. Dre give his $70 million to? USC, man. He ain't got shit to Compton. He was like, hell no. Hell no. I'm not doing that. And then it makes sense for the celebrities not to do that, because the celebrities should say, well, why these politicians y'all love not doing it? See, that's the thing with the Democrat Party. They're constantly getting bailed out by like celebrities, right? They never have to do what they're supposed to do because celebrities always come do it for them. Why do you think they don't ever have to do anything for you? Okay, so we're moving on. It's 1:30. It's 1 hour and 30 minutes. This is really the end. But weren't we supposed to talk about something else? There was a topic I told people. There was a topic I told people we could talk about, but I forgot what it was, guys. Hey, this is why I don't really cover No Jumper stuff. No Jumper audience don't donate or contribute to the stream at all. Y'all want more of this? Y'all got to contribute. When I talk about purely political stuff, the people who are into that, they're contributing. You know, it might be less people watching, but they're contributing, donating to the stream and all that. I'm just putting it out there. You guys want more? Contribute. That's the way this works. I'm teaching you how the relationship between you and your politicians should be. You donate, you contribute, they supposed to give you what you want. This channel is a good way to practice that. Period. But okay. What were we supposed to talk about? Wasn't there another topic? Somebody was like, "Can we talk about this?" What was it? What topic was? Oh, it was Al Sharpton. It was Al, Big Al, dude. What did he do? Yeah. All right, guys. So we got 98 of y'all in here. What I want y'all to do, I'm gonna do y'all a favor. This is what I want you to do. This is what I want y'all to do. Videos. Okay, here we go. If you want to know about Al Sharpton, what he did, here's a clip. I mean, I'm putting the link in the comments. So when you leave here, if you didn't, we're gonna make an agreement. If you don't contribute to the stream or anything else, just do me a favor, like, share, subscribe if you are not subscribed already, and go when you leave here and watch another video and just watch it the whole way through. There's a link. This is the video I like to send you guys to. Go check it out. Go watch it. It's in the comments right there. That's to what's going on with Al Sharpton, him admitting that he was a confidential FBI informant. Now, mind you, Al Sharpton marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was killed by the FBI. Al Sharpton then, supposed to be such great friends with King and a big dog in the civil rights movement, then went to work with the FBI as a confidential informant, helping them to go after people like Don King, helping them to go after black music executives. Come on, guys. And these are the people you're following. When you got somebody as corrupt and who does shit like what Al Sharpton has done, you're supposed to do the opposite of what they say, because you know whatever they tell you to do, usually it's going to benefit them and it's not going to benefit you at all. So that's the game I'm giving you with that. Go check that out. It's old news, but everybody's talking about it, so it can't be that old. But thank you all for watching this. I appreciate everything you do for me and this channel. Till the next time, please take care of yourselves, but most importantly, take care of each other. Peace.